all times throughout the tour. You can listen to us, take a drink of a drink, get some air. I totally understand. I'm going to do that as well. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Welcome to the San Antonio Riverwalk. I'm already trying to end my tour. My name is Evelyn. I'm going to be your boat captain for this tour. First off, I'd like to say thank you to those who have served, are serving, and our first responders, as well as your families. Thank you for your service. A few safety rules to go over with you. Please remain seated throughout the tour. We do pass under some low bridges, and I don't want you to hit your head. Keep your hands and arms inside the boat at all times. I do want you to come back in one piece. No smoking, vaping, or use of any tobacco products while on the boat. And last but not least, we do have life jackets back here in the hatches next to me. In the event that we do find ourselves sinking, the water's only about 4 to 5 feet deep in most places. You can just stand up and walk out. All right, to start off our tour, this little footbridge right here is...
Oh, it smells so good.
...dedicated to the fall of our Riverwalk, Robert Husband, but it's commonly referred to as Selena's Bridge because it was featured in the movie Selena starring Jennifer Lopez in 1997.
Selena's Bridge.
On the right-hand side, this white building with the arch windows is the Macara Hotel. The Macara Hotel was previously the Elfrank Saddlery Company that opened up in 1901 here on the river. They saddled Teddy Roosevelt and Rough Riders, Pancho Villa, as well as the U.S., French, and British forces during World War I, and quickly made it to the world's largest saddlery company by 1918. Right here on my left-hand side, we have La Mansion. La Mansion was previously the St. Mary's School for Boys that opened up in 1853. In 1966, two of its former students purchased the property and turned it into La Mansion just in time for the World's Fair in 1968.
Under a bridge.
As we come over underneath this bridge here, you're going to look my left, all the way up towards the sky on my left-hand side here. This is an optical illusion. This is the Nix Hospital. The Nix Hospital opened up in 1930.
That was freaky. It did look completely like one-sided.
Hospital in the United States. Carol Burnett and Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North were both born there, and up until last
What, Brandon?
it still functioned as a
What is it? You see the ducks. I know, we've been seeing them all weekend. Okay, I see one.
In my mind, I'm thinking it's definitely
There's a duck right there.
It's a fun place to stay though, right? Right here, directly ahead of us, this white building here is the Hyatt Regency Hotel. The Hyatt Regency Hotel was built in 1981 and stands at only 16 stories tall. The reason for this is because we have a city ordinance here in San Antonio that prevents any buildings from casting a shadow onto the Alamo. So the original plans for the Hyatt were for it to be 21 stories, but they had to stop at 16. Also, if you're looking for quick access to the Alamo from the Riverwalk, you can find it right here. You can take either side of these double glass doors here at the Hyatt.
Mom, say hi to Rita. Hi, Rita. Hi, Randy.
The Alamo is literally across the street on the other side of the building.
Andrea.
Over here on my right-hand side, this pinkish-colored building here is the Casino Club building. The Casino Club building was built in 1927 as a social club for German immigrants, which is the actual true meaning of casino is a social gathering. So it's never used as a casino as what we think of as a casino today for gambling, but only as a place of social gathering. So in the 1940s, Thomas Gilchrist from Tulsa, Oklahoma purchased the property and used it just for his Western art collection. When he went back to Tulsa, Oklahoma, he took his Western art collection with him and left the building empty for many years. In the 1970s, it was converted into apartments, and Alex Haley, the author of Roots, resided there. Over here on my right-hand side, this white building with the fire escape is the Clifford Building. The Clifford Building was previously the Riverside Building that opened up in the late 1800s. When it reopened as the Clifford Building in 1941, Robert Husband placed his offices at river level of the building to prove to other businesses that it was safe to have their business on the Riverwalk without fear of flooding, and he was right. Robert Husband was very instrumental in the development of the Riverwalk, and without him, we would not have it today. There's actually
Hi, Deanna.
Robert Husband here on my right-hand side next to Commerce Street Bridge that has a little more historical information about him if you're interested. A little too much information for my tour, unfortunately. Also on my right-hand side, we have Caja Rio. Caja Rio is the oldest restaurant on the Riverwalk.
We ate there when Christian went to the Air Force down here in San Antonio for his stuff.
Over the years into what they are now. So this whole building here is Caja Rio. Caja Rio is family owned and operated and has been since the day they opened in 1946, which is almost unheard of here in San Antonio. They must be doing something right. I do know they have really good food, so I'm going to assume that's probably something right.
Did you see that, Brandon?
They've got this great shrimp quesadilla.
I know they're really
Lots of
awesome.
cheese. Their queso is pretty amazing. I don't know if you can tell I love cheese. Kind of have to if you live here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Alright, as we make this turn, if you look up to my left-hand side, you'll see that enchilada red sculpture at street level. That is the Torch of Friendship. The Torch of Friendship was given by Mexico in 2002 to commemorate the friendship between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Done by Mexican artist Sebastian. Alright, this part of the river we just entered into is the man-made river extension of the river. One of two parts of the river that is man-made. It was built in 1968 for the World's Fair to help carry fairgoers back and forth between the fairgrounds.
We are having a blast.
This part of the river
There's Mom and Andrea and Adri and Lexi and Brandon. It's a girls' weekend without the boys.
Alright, if you look ahead of us,
Except for Brandon, but he's always with us.
The Marriott River Center was built in 1988 and sits on the previous site of the Fairmont Hotel. The Fairmont Hotel had been built in 1906 and was designated as a historic landmark. They did not tear it down. Instead, they moved it to the corner of South Alamo and Nueva Street. This took about 6 days and it made it into the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest building moved through City Street on pneumatic tires. All right, coming up here on my right-hand side, we have the Tower of America. The Tower of America was built in 1968 as a theme for the World's Fair. It's 750 feet high. At the time, it was the tallest freestanding observation deck in the United States. It lost that title, though, in 1996 when they opened up the Stratosphere in Las Vegas. There's 952 stairs inside the Tower of America. It takes about 15 minutes to climb, and our record stands at 5 minutes and 18 seconds.
Wow.
Not sure if that person made it back down. But if you're not interested in taking the stairs, you can always take the elevator. Nobody will think any less of you. All right, this next part of the river we're entering into is the mall extension of the river. It wasn't built till 1988, a full 20 years after the rest of the river extension. I'll tell you why here in just a moment. Coming up here on my right-hand side, you'll see that we have another loading dock. This is our River Center location.
No, we're not leaving, buddy. No, we're not leaving yet, baby. No, we're not getting off the boat yet, sweet boy. No.
I used to work in the retail shop before I became a boat captain, and we got to taste test those margaritas before we opened up the shop. And those things are pretty amazing. I don't even like margaritas, let alone the drink, and those things are really good. So if you find yourself over in this area and want a nice frozen alcoholic beverage to go, come get one from our shop. We also have ices here as well if you want something with no alcohol in it. I actually prefer those over the margaritas any day. Yeah, there's Margaritaville right there, but we have a shop here as well, so. All right, we're now entering into the Shops at River Center. The Shops at River Center was built in 1988. The reason why they built the mall extension of the river, it's the second largest mall here in San Antonio with 1 million square feet, 68,000 square feet across, over 100 retailers, 6 restaurants on the Riverwalk as well as the inside. Look, they're making out. And 2 movie theaters, the AMC and the IMAX.
Ew, get a room. Yo, say get a room. Say ew.
Alamo, The Price of Freedom, has been featured at the IMAX for over 30 years. So if you grew up in Texas in the last 30 years and ever did a field trip to San Antonio while you were in school, you've probably seen Alamo, The Price of Freedom. I saw it when I was 9.
I remember seeing that when we were kids in the theater.
If you came to visit the city, you had to see the movie. It's actually a really good movie, pretty historically accurate. So if you're into the history of the Alamo, I highly recommend to go check it out.
Oh, that bird is after you.
I don't know if y'all seen any of the fruit trees we have along the Riverwalk. We have them all the way up to the Pearl District and back down south towards the Mission Reach. This one coming up here on my right-hand side is an orange tree. As you go past it, if you look up, you'll see some baby oranges up in the bridge.
Look at the orange tree, Brandon.
There's also a lemon tree just past this the bridge, also on my right-hand side. That produces the largest lemons I've ever seen in my life. Actually, this one out of the river, not too terribly long. Those things like this big, huge lemon. And then I found out this is called a Myers lemon tree. Those are lemon trees that produce those large lemons like
Oh, there it is, Mom. See the lemons?
Other large lemons up in the branches there as well as the bird's nest. There's also a pomegranate tree at the entrance to this portion of the river. We also have banana trees, palm trees, mulberry trees, big trees, kumquats, all different types of fruit trees all over the river.
Are you enjoying the ride, Brandon?
Hi, coming up here on my right-hand side at sidewalk, we'll see a statue of St. Anthony de Padua. This statue was given to us by Portugal for the 1968 World's Fair. St. Anthony de Padua is the patron saint of small children and lost items. He's also the saint that San Antonio is named after. Also on my right-hand side at street level this time, you have the steeple of St. Joseph's Catholic Church peeking through the trees. St. Joseph's Catholic Church was built in 1868 by a German community that wanted a place of worship in their native language. It was the first church built after the fall of the Alamo and wasn't fully completed until 1902 when they got their stained glass windows. Today they still have Mass there every Sunday, and once a month they have an all-male choir called the Liederkranz comes and sings their hymns in German.
That's pretty cool.
All right, I don't know if you guys noticed the different designs of all our boats. The overall theme for our design is called Papel Picado, which is a Mexican boat art with paper. The design of the boat that you're on right now is our missions design. That one in front of us is a sun design. We also have a dove design, a military design, and my favorite is the tricentennial design, which was done to commemorate San Antonio's 300th birthday, which we celebrated the year before last. And the boats come in 5 different colors. Alright, coming up here on my left-hand side, as we get past the street, you'll see the Hilton Palacio del Rio, or the Palace of the River. It took me forever to learn how to say that right. The Hilton Palacio del Rio was built in 1968 for the World's Fair, and at the time was the fastest built hotel in the world. They did it in 202 working days, which is approximately 7 months. They built the restaurant floors here on site. The remaining 500 rooms they had built at location 8 miles south of here. They had each room fully furnished and stocked, and then trucked over here and stacked like Legos. When they first started stacking the rooms, they were stacking about 4 to 5 a day. By the time they completed construction, they had been stacking 35 rooms a day. All they had to do was connect the water and electricity, and the building was ready to go. They actually completed construction approximately 48 hours before the start of the World's Fair. Those rooms were already divvied out before the building was even completed. A lot of people didn't think the Hilton Palacio del Rio was going to last very long because of how quickly it was built and in the manner in which it was built.
Hi, Christy!
52 years later, and the building still stands strong. So either good construction or good maintenance, more than likely both. All right, as we get past this bridge here, you're going to get a much better view of the Hilton Palacio del Rio and get a better idea of how big the building really is. And you'll see that the first 4 floors are completely different than the rest of the floors in the building.
Do you smell that? You guys getting hungry? Brandon, are you hungry yet? Or are you looking forward to the haunted
right on my right
tour?
Side, we have another floating dock. This is our Historia location. At this location, you can purchase tickets as well as drinks to go, but they don't have margaritas or ices. They're not as close to River Center or where I picked you guys up at. They do have beer though, so I guess it does count for something, right? You can't go wrong with beer. I don't even like beer, but you know, I don't judge, so. Alright, if you look ahead of us, just to my left, you'll see La Villita. La Villita, or the Little Village, was first settled by Spanish soldiers in 1722
Oh my gosh.
that were here to protect
Look at
the
the
Alamo.
awnings.
In 1836,
Or not awnings, what's it called?
It was a staging point for his cannon line during the Battle of the Alamo. In the mid-1800s, it was resettled by German and French immigrants, and in the early 1900s, it was founded as a historic arts village, which it remains as today. So you can find lots
Oh,
of
there's the
galleries and
theater.
shops.
That's what I was thinking
As well
about, was
as
the
fine
theater.
dining restaurants inside La Villita. It's a really
Just trying to
nice
remember,
shopping area.
Mom.
I highly recommend to go check it out, even if you don't like to go shopping. However, now,
I love shopping. What are you talking about?
Artisan Theater. The Artisan Theater was built in 1941, seats about 800 people. On my right-hand side is the stage. At the back of the stage are 5 bells. Each one of those bells represents one of our San Antonio missions. Those bells were placed there in dedication to Robert Hugman, the father of our Riverwalk. This little footbridge right here is called Rosita's Bridge. Rosita's Bridge is dedicated to Rosita Fernandez, a popular Tejano singer who sings Fiesta Noche del Rio every summer for 25 years here at the Artisan. Over here on my right-hand side, we have the Briscoe Western Art Museum. The Briscoe Western Art Museum opened up in 2013. It's
Look at that old tree.
Look
Look at the tree behind you, how old that thing is.
Inside the Briscoe, you can find Santa Ana's ceremonial sword.
Oh my gosh, that tree is huge.
As well as a refurbished stagecoach. Before it was the Briscoe, it was the Hertzberg Circus Museum.
Oh, they're about to get married.
It was a San Antonio.
Go to the trampoline there. Do give me. Oh. Yeah, I shouldn't sing this.
All right, this bridge we're approaching here is one of the lowest bridges we're going to pass underneath. This bridge does have sharp edges, and it's the main reason why I asked everybody to please remain seated. We all know nothing good comes with hitting your head on a sharp edge, right? This is a Rosetta Trust Bridge. There's only 10 of these in the United States. 5 of them are here in San Antonio. These bridges were built in the late 1800s in Berlin, Connecticut.
Connecticut. Let's get married too, huh?
Inside we have Marriage Island.
You have to ask
Marriage
Nene.
Island is called this because of the heart shape the roots of the tree make. We perform over there.
Congratulations!
Weddings a year on this little island.
Woo-woo!
This picture on the island is called Father Massenet's Table. It was done by Rolando Virginia in 1991 to commemorate Father Damien Massenet's first Catholic Mass here on the river in 1691. Guys, that's like the 4th wedding they've had on that island. That's crazy, right? All right, we're now entering into Old Mills Crossing. Old Mills Crossing was a popular spot in the 1800s for settlers to cross the river because of its low waters and hard-packed soil. They'd also stop and water their horses here while they made use of the mills that used to be where the Westin is now located over here on my right-hand side. Inside the Westin, you can actually find artifacts from the 1700s on display in their lobby and restaurant. Right here on my left-hand side, this tall building with a U.S. flag on top is the Tower Life Building. The Tower Life Building was built in 1929 by the Young Brothers, and at the time was called the Smith & Young Building.
That's beautiful.
The Young Brothers were very superstitious, and they placed gargoyles along the top and grotesque at the bottom to help ward off evil spirits and bad business. Of course, that
The
is
gargoyles,
so
yeah, that's the ones
later
you're
that
talking
year,
about.
The stock market crashed and the Great Depression began. They spent $3 million.
That's poking out, I think. Those are the gargoyles. I don't know.
So those little grotesques at the bottom, they call those the husband and wife pairs because when one is happy, the other one is
Woohoo!
funny, right?
We did see them yesterday. It was probably the same ones.
That red building with the green roof, that is the Bexar County Courthouse. The Bexar County Courthouse was completed in 1897. It's one of the oldest still functioning courthouses in the state of Texas. Its Gothic Romanesque revival style is done with granite and red sandstone that's native to Texas. And inside the building, they have some gorgeous
Mary
marble
Street.
floors.
Woo! It's our street, Mom. Or I hope to try to be funny. The Mary Street, right?
Over here on my right-hand side, we have the International Center. The International Center houses the trade offices of the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Also, Visit San Antonio has their offices here. And here at river level, we have one of our 2 marinas that we store some of our 43 boats in. As we go past the entrance to the marina, you can kind of peek inside and check it out. It's not very pretty in there, not a lot going on, just boats. Gotta sit down.
Oh, that's where the boats sleep at night, Brandon. That's where the boats sleep at night.
Hey guys, I'm gonna honk my horn. I know some people don't do such loud voices.
You told me that.
Just to let cross traffic know that we're coming out.
Oh, that scared the poopy out of me.
This green light here does not necessarily mean go. It just lets us know that the floodgate here is down and we can proceed safely.
God, that was loud and scary.
This is floodgate 4. It comes up from the bottom of the river like a hatch.
There's a red light and green light for the
The
first
river we're
2.
entering into is the man-made flood control channel. The second part of the river that is man-made. It extends from floodgate 4 to floodgate 3. All the rest is natural. So in 1921, we had a very devastating flood here in downtown San Antonio. The waters reached 9 feet above street level. Several
Good grief.
homes were lost and millions of dollars in damages were caused. So the city of San Antonio got together with the Army Corps of Engineers and developed the plans and built the flood control channel. This consists of the channel itself as well as the 5 floodgates up and down the river. And we have not had a flood here in downtown San Antonio since.
Smells yummy.
All right, coming up here on my left-hand side, we have Main Plaza. Up in Main Plaza is the San Fernando Cathedral. It's a lot easier to see in the wintertime, but as we go by, you might be able to
That's where we were yesterday. Mom, that's where we were yesterday when we were all sitting there and getting eaten by the mosquitoes.
It's one of the oldest Catholic communities here in the United States. It's also the heart of San Antonio. So the city was built around the cathedral and Main Plaza area. Every Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 9, 9:30, and 10 p.m. they have a free light show on the facade of the cathedral called San Antonio Saga. So if you guys are going to be here later
Lord,
tonight,
look at
I
that
highly recommend
tree.
you go check it out. It's really cool.
Look
little
at
light
that
show.
one. Look how huge that
This
one
big
is.
tree that's directly
It just
ahead
goes
of the tree,
forever.
this is the big
Oh my
Milam tree.
gosh.
The big Milam tree is over 300 years
Yep,
old,
that must be
stands at
it.
110
300
feet
years
height,
old.
and has a circumference of 25 feet. So legend has it that a Mexican sniper sat in the branches of the tree and shot prominent Texas revolutionary Ben Milam in 1835.
Wow, could you imagine?
All right, we're now entering into Floodgate 3. This is also the end of the flood control channel. Floodgate 3 comes down like a guillotine, but much slower. So
They're making lots of construction.